Thank you so much for joining us on the Economic Times. Hello and welcome. This is a special series that we are calling, and we're calling it TV Cricnomics. So as the name suggests, we'll talk about the economics around cricket on television. And because it's brand equity, where we talk all things that matter to the brand, and we're talking cricket, in India, not many things resonate with the audience like cricket. Some things do, but not many like cricket. And since we're talking cricket, 2023 was a blockbuster year for the Indian Premier League. As someone who is glued to the screen, I could well be talking about Rinku Singh's 5 sixes against Gujarat Titans. I hope you remember that in that last over to win that match. It could even be Ravindra Jadeja squeezing that 13 runs in the last over to help CSK win the title, pipping Gujarat Titans at the post. While the players were doing the impossible on the field, brands were making it possible outside the playing area. So to talk about all what brands were doing, let me welcome Poulomi Roy, Chief Marketing Officer of Joy Personal Care. Thank you so much, Poulomi, for taking out the time to join us on the Economic Times.
The pleasure is absolutely mine.
So I'm so excited talking about cricket and its association with brands. Women's Premier League is coming up. The Indian Premier League happens next month. T20 World Cup in the US follows. It's going to be a feast of cricket in the shortest format. How is Joy Personal Care looking to leverage on the opportunity?
First of all, thank you for allowing me to be a part of this conversation with all of you. And it's interesting enough to discuss this because this as a subject has been very close to my heart because we were one of those few female brands, so-called female targeted brands, which forayed into the whole idea of cricket. So I think if I hear you right, there are two parts to the story. Historically, what we've been doing and what's the plan with cricket as such. So I'll just take a step back and how we look at cricket. I think if we have three circles about cricket viewers in general, one, we can say that the hardcore viewers who live and read the game, they're like into every match, into every detail. And then there are some people who watch when India plays, not all format of the game. And then there is an outer circle, which is more like a social cricket, where that's where mostly the IPL of the world comes, wherein everybody, the surround is so high at that time that most of the people, irrespective of a man or a woman, want to be a part of the conversation because that's what we're doing. It's not about just the game. I'll give you an example. During IPL, you often see promotions happening at pubs. There are merchandising that is available. It's just not those few hours of cricket. It's a complete euphoria around it. And as it's a social phenomenon. You want to participate when a couple of people are discussing the game that happened last night. So we feel that there are three circles, and Joy as a brand, and mostly we want to associate with the outer circle. Maybe the core one, I'm not a target on it, but definitely the peripheral, the social cricketing audience is something we want to definitely reach out to. Now, let's understand where we came from when we first identified IPL or WPL for that matter. To be very honest with you, every brand will look at this media property from their own respective KRAs and KPIs. For us, we had to identify that first, that why, like most of us, they'll, from a television perspective, 43% is female audience. The rest is a male viewer. Then why? That was the first question. So I'll just take it one at a time and what were the layers in which we operated. Joy was at a brand journey's point where we required the reach to build the awareness that it requires, irrespective of male or female. Like I always say that a brand first needs to be known. For example, an established brand has the understanding, whether you are a user or not, you know what this brand stands for. I'll just take a dignified example of the same. For example, you're a courtier man. Now, when it comes to a brand like Lakme, maybe you're not one of the hardcore users of the product, but you know that, okay, Lakme is equal to color cosmetics, blah, blah, blah. That kind of awareness is pretty much there with most of the people. And so be it, because it has been existing for the longest time. Joy is a young brand. We still feel that curve of awareness, the top of mind understanding that joy equals to skincare. There is a long way for us to go there. Whether we are getting into the
Mhm.
consideration set of the core audience, the first awareness level of that has to increase. For that, this media property is by all means the best to go ahead and build. The second thing is, what is the 43% all about? What is the absolute number? The number per se might be smaller than the male counterpart of 55%, 56%, but 43% as an absolute number is way, way big than as we expect it to be. So therefore, we said, okay, that's the second layer. So there is a substantial amount of core audience of mine also watching it. Now, the third layer. For an FMCG, we have three channels of sales. We have a general trade, we have a modern trade, and we have e-commerce. Now, and general trade being one of the biggest contributors, because we are a mass brand. And at all these channels of sales, my first relationship and my first so-called consumers are the trade partners, which is predominantly male. So therefore, if they buy into me, then the rest of it goes, spirals down. So when you look at, when you put all these three things together from the perspective of a unique position where joy is. Now, this might not be true for another brand, which is much more well known or has already traveled the journey. It might be different. But for us, these three were our main spokes to ensure that we get the maximum mileage out of it. That is the reason you will see that we are not sponsoring a South Africa tournament or something outside, but definitely we are with the social cricketing audience of India, which is IPL and WPL of the world. And that's the way we have looked at it and built over it in the last, 2 to 3 years. Yeah, this is the third year probably. Yeah.
So the way you put it, sports turning into a social, or rather cricket or IPL turning into a social phenomenon, that's now caught my attention. Last year, the kind of reach that IPL had, over 500 billion aggregate viewers, massive 35% growth in female viewership, that should really get you as a brand excited. How did it help Joy Personal Care reach out to its target groups? You explained it partly, but if you can just detail a little bit.
See, as I said, when we did a top of mind awareness also, which was done by, it was a research that was done by Hansa Research through IPL. There was, 1.8x time awareness that had increased. That was one of the reason we were trying to measure that. And we were one of those few top of mind awareness of people with joy had increased. Now, this is not the only thing we were doing. Post that also, there were other activities. But we saw the spike in awareness, which was measured by a research to see that, okay, have we ticked that box? Did we reach out to people, and what was the top of mind consideration that was happening for the brand in that 2.5 months, and then carry forward that forward. So that was one part of it. Our trade got lubricated heavily. That was one of again the second key point, that Joy is sponsoring IPL. So now your trade partner starts validating your presence a lot more, because they are in it with you together and they're seeing this brand grow. in front of you. So the credibility, the fact that they were nowhere to go, this is here to stay, they understand that the investments are going high. So, the credibility of your partnership with your business partners also increase a lot. And thirdly, we also launched our association with a very interesting campaign called Being Equal. Okay. Targeted towards, I mean, in the brand, our brand philosophy, or the space in which we operate, there's a reason why we exist. One of the reasons for us to exist at a functional level is we say that we make quality product at affordable price point. That is our uniqueness. When it comes to the emotional benefits, we say, our products will not accentuate your beauty, but going to help you maintain one. And therefore, it is called Beautiful by Nature. And the fact we've been doing campaigns after campaigns, emphasizing the fact that, breaking the stereotypes, that as part of the industry, as skincare people, as FMCG people, from beauty care, over the years, we've been one of those few, one of the sector which has promoted and propagated unrealistic standards of beauty for women. We have sold our products, and it was high time that we didn't do that. So we took that route like in 2015, and since then we've been doing this campaign. Now, Being Equal was one again such campaign which added that functional, level of understanding with my consumers, my female consumers as well. It was, and it connected so well with most of because during that time, when most of the brands were talking about a CTA based or a very functional campaign, we took the stance. We said, no, you know what? We're going to use a large part of inventory to speak the brand language, which was talking, it was a very simple communication with the guys saying, it's not a man versus woman, it's the conditioning of the society that we are in, which, which even during the game of cricket, there is a very high viewership of men's cricket as versus a women's cricket. And why so? And it's not about people not supporting it. There are bodies which are supporting it, but I think it's more to do with us as a society and the level at which we engage with that sport and how we distinguish. So that campaign resonated very well. It went viral, influencers were taking it up, they were talking, there was more engagement and talkability about the brand. So, words like equality and all these things, if we did listening tool analysis with Meltwater that during the campaign and another campaign, what are the sentiments that were getting attached to the brand? So such sentiments like equality, good skincare, blah, all these narratives have come together at that point of time. So these were ways in which we were taking mileage of the brand. Yeah.
You referred to the trade partners, the credibility that it brought, the advertising along with IPL and the association with IPL that it brought. What were some of the other factors behind leveraging this kind of mass reach? Because some brands tell you that IPL can be very expensive.
Yes, it is. It is an expensive property, but then we have to get to the unit economics of it. What is the target reach that I'm planning during that point of time? How many more, depth and breadth of distributions, you measure that how many more distributors are getting in, what is going to be my turn. So it is not directly that your sales get affected after you do, it'll go 10x after you do your, one IPL association. The idea is that, okay, if I were to build on this property, what is it going to give me in terms of my business proposition? End result is it needs to turn into the value that we are investing. Point is that investment will not happen for a brand like Joy from day one. We mainly did to strengthen our distribution, to strengthen our thing. And obviously, we did see the numbers jumping. We are growing at a 25% CAGR every year on year. And it has been a very positive response. So we have supported the positive response through all the researches that we had done. The awareness level increased. That is why, today the trade partner is ready to, they know that we are investing. So they are more accommodative in ensuring that their shelf space is given to us more. When we are introducing a new product in the market, the acceptance is better because they are here to stay because the company is investing. And it's not an, IPO. We don't have an IPO. And we are not a funded company also. So they're like, okay, they're 35, 36 years into the business. They're launching a new product. They're investing in, now they start, understanding that they are deep into the game. They're here to stay. Because for a trade partner, their understanding is very simple. Why should I give you my space? Why should I I have so many choices. So that I will push, provided there is a pull for your product. So the pull is going to be created by A, your product has to be good so that you have repeat. B, you have to have strong communication and be on top of mind of your consumers so that they come and ask for you. On this side, you also have to ensure that the push to your trade partner is in the most authentic self, and they believe in the fact that you are going to ensure that he is taken care of, which means it's not only the money or the percentage that is on. He will keep your product because he knows you are investing in your consumers and his products are going to move and there is going to be a demand. So we saw that the credibility, the acceptance are on those terms of trade that happens.
So I also happened to read that Joy was looking to expand beyond its traditional markets, the Maharashtras, the West Bengals.
Yeah.
So what role does this association with IPL on television drive you in achieving the goal and also help you in achieving that goal?
Right. So we've been looking at Maharashtra. We're present pan India, but what we do is we take up geographies and go deeper and spend more time with that. So Maharashtra and West Bengal has been one such. We're pretty much good with UP, but we wanted to also ensure that we are more present in a more depth manner. So the moment you associate yourself with a property like this, where the nation goes crazy, the level of awareness that you create, which you can understand from the day one that you go and hit FCT spots, the on ground activation, and all of that. There is an immediate spurge of recognition that happens, and people are like, waiting, what next? What are you going to do next? And now the awareness factor helped us a lot to not even go and introduce ourselves anyway. As I told you, it almost becomes a place of introduction. So when you are entering a new market, you take a lot of time to build, right? You do vanilla spotting, you slowly you communicate, you go there, good. But such properties give you that voltage. But idea is to sustain it. Of course, it can't be like one shot and then everything goes. But to get that immediate, inroads with the trade and with the market in general, properties like, and there isn't, to be very honest with you, if you evaluate it in the landscape of Indian media, we don't have something as big as this.
Mm.
We don't have something as big as this.
How did the trade partners, if you can tell one short anecdote, how did they react when they saw the ad on television?
So the thing was, my salespeople said, "आप लोग IPL पे आ गए." So that was the big thing. That's the way, आम जनता, आप लोग IPL पे आ गए, अरे वाह. So see, there are some trade partners who have seen us grow from 0 to 50, 50 to 100, and today around 600. So we always validate their presence in our life, and we've personally gone ahead, asked them to come and view it. The new ones got introduced. It was easy for my entire sales force to now go and knock the doors and open it wide with most of the conversations. Where they were a little hesitant, Acha, who are you? Okay, great. There are MNCs lined up in front of me and I should be. But now they give you, oh, I've seen you. Oh, acha, you guys are this. Acha, aap log KKR ka sponsorship karo. Pata laga. And then it is on my, we don't take this as a credit of marketing. So the entire organization is aligned, saying there will be one push that we give. Now we start breaking the doors and say, you know what, we're doing this. Our association is all about this. And we start the conversation that, okay, people are going to reckon, they're going to ask about a product. And once we are able to give a product to them, there is 100% confident that there'll be repeat purchase. So there was this upliftment of the fact that they are interested in investing in their business to make their business grow. And the other thing is they are credible people and here to stay. That is itself takes you, way far. And as I told you, I was talking to the fence sitters, and it is always easy to get the fence sitters into your brand. People who are thinking whether I should be getting into this category, or okay, I use this, I want to get a little deeper. I'm having conversations with the fence sitters, as I told you. And it's very easy to get fence sitters into your brand more than to convert the loyalist. The intent was never to go to the loyalist of cricketers and try to communicate with them and have that. We were in the social space of cricket. We want to be visible to people who are fence sitters and start taking them into our fold. And that's exactly what has happened.
So, if there were some things you were to attribute to the power of television and IPL that appeals to brands which are targeting women audiences, what could that be? If you can probably give maybe 2 or 3 of them.
See, it's very simple. Look at the absolute number where you are standing, and if something around 250, 260, 300 million plus viewers attract you as a number, go for it. It is true that you will be able to reach out to so many people. I wouldn't go by the cliche logic what we used to always give. India is a single TV household and blah 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 and all of that. Okay, while that's a fact, the sheer number of people as women audiences, don't go by the percentage, and don't say cricket percentage is viewed by men only. Of course, men's percentage of cricket viewing will be more. But what do you want? Are you happy to reach out to approximately 300 million people? 250 to 300 million people? Or you saying, no, I want to go buy a property which reaches out only to women? My thing, ask the numbers, look at the numbers, and if awareness and reach is one of the key criteria for your brand, then definitely in the current landscape of Indian media, we don't have a property which gives you this amount of reach. Then follow it up with a sustenance campaign. But what this property can give you at that point of time, it will be very difficult for any other property to give.
So, what could it mean for a brand like yours to hit a 6, the proverbial 6, with so much of cricket coming up?
Yeah, our association with IPL and WPL as we see this time. And as I mentioned, that we would like to keep restrict ourselves to that peripheral. We are in a milestone of achieving 600 crore as a turnover. And we sit at a place where we feel that this kind of association is going to give us inroads into that milestone very soon. This is purely from a business perspective. Having said that, we also want to develop our awareness and a consideration quotient with the core audiences and overall. And we've got in touch with Hansa again to do the same for us, which is pre and post IPL, which will typically help us understand that what is the level of or the intensity at which the brand is able to make an impact with this association. But overall, this property will help us reach the milestone of 600 crores that we aim for this in a year's time. If I could make sense, or if I could explain myself.
Okay, Poulomi, thank you so much. Hope you continue hitting the 4s and the 6s, the proverbial ones, and look forward to speaking to you all again.
Absolutely.
And IPL happens, and the brand is driving some enough eyeballs, some serious eyeballs. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Lovely talking to you all.
Same here. Thank you.